I'm Brandon.
Oh, Alan.
And I'm Tony.
And together we are Batman Boxing Talk. Your old ass gonna have to speak up. You keep going to sleep in the middle of segments and shit. But on this segment, we're gonna talk about one of the people in our comments said that Caleb Plant is not an A-level fighter. So I figured we could talk about what makes a fighter what is the criteria for an A-level fighter versus a B-level fighter versus an elite level fighter. So let's start with an A fighter. What makes a fighter an A fighter?
What makes it skills?
I'm about to say, I told you. Hey, see now, I'm telling you, he gets to a point he don't even know he's saying it. Skills.
Yeah. Wait, no, hold on. There's another one. Skills. Yeah. One more. Skills.
Yeah. And one of the people said that I'm sorry, this people's one I don't know if they're a subscriber or just a watcher, but one of the comments said that Caleb is a B-level fighter.
There you go. Plant is a B-level fighter. He is talking all big and bad. His resume is garbage.
And did they say he was a B-level fighter because he never beat an A-level fighter or some shit like that, right? If I remember
I think that's like, your competition is one of them.
I think your competition is one.
Your resume is definitely.
That's what I'm saying. Your resume, and like I said, he's never been. Skill. I think Caleb Plant has skill.
I disagree. I think your resume makes you an elite level fighter. Okay. I think you can be an A level. Like example, Devin Haney. Devin Haney hasn't had the competition, or I don't think he's beat an A-level fighter, but
your eyes say he's an A-level fighter.
He looks like an A-level fighter to me. Right. Now, of course, we don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That's why.
But I'm not going to say, he's not an A-level fighter because he didn't beat an A-level fighter.
Okay. Okay, so let me ask the question then. I look at that 135. I don't see elite. I see 4 A-level fighters.
Me too. I thought I seen 4. But that's the thing. Ryan Garcia, to me, the commitment that he's showing doesn't show me that he's an A-level fighter. He could be an A-level talent.
That's what you saying that's where like I get in that, like you said, like I see Devin Haney as an A-level talent.
Right.
I really do think that your competition raised you up, but like you said, you think that makes you an elite level. I think what makes you an elite level when you have that competition and you win at that high level.
Okay, wait.
Because
so let me ask
Sean
you a question.
Porter is the perfect example. He's an elite.
I think he's an A-level fighter.
Yeah. But he's elite because of his resume.
But he haven't beat those guys. So that's what I'm saying. That's where it's a mixed up.
He beat Danny Garcia. He beat
Adrian Broner.
But Adrian wasn't Adrian. Adrian was that was after Madonna Adrian. That was
still. But if you look back on,
I give him credit, but I'm saying it ain't like he beat it ain't like he Madonna. He beat the Adrian that looked like he was about to explode into being the best fighter in boxing.
That was his second loss. Right?
It was his second loss, but Adrian after the Madonna fight didn't look good against Carlos Molina.
No, he
didn't look good against Emmanuel Taylor. Mm-hmm. He just I don't know.
He didn't stop one of Floyd's fighters, didn't he?
Ooh, Theo Payne?
Yeah. Hey, look, respect, man.
I respect, and come on, y'all know Adrian Broner. That's my guy. Yeah. I love that little man. I don't give a fuck what he do.
Well, the thing is, when Adrian Broner stepped up in competition.
Sean Porter is...
Because if that's the case, Adrian Broner got the resume.
Yeah, but not like Sean Porter. Nobody got Sean Porter.
He don't have it like Sean Porter, but he got the names on there. And, but he's not like an elite level fighter.
Yeah, but Adrian Broner's lost all of those fights, hasn't he?
Adrian Broner...
Anybody who's anybody in the welterweight division is for Sean Porter. And he's getting ready to close the chapter on that when he fighting Terrence Crawford.
No, it ain't, because he ain't going to fight Jerron Ennis.
But no, I say anybody who's anybody.
Well,
Jerron Ennis ain't anybody right now.
Well, Jerron Ennis isn't in his class either.
Yeah.
What you mean?
I mean, Earl Spence, Sean Porter, Terrence Crawford, they're in that class. They're all over 30.
Okay, you talking about generation
wise, yeah. No, I would say Sean Porter's an elite welterweight.
I'm not giving him elite. And that's elite. I think he's an A-level fighter because I feel like he's going to be in every fight, but he's not going to win the big fights. And to me, that elite, I don't see it.
Is Terrence Crawford an elite fighter?
No, not yet. I think he's an A-level fighter. But once he starts to beat guys like Sean Porter, like Earl Spence, then he'll get classified to me as an elite level fighter. He's an elite level talent, but he's not an elite level fighter yet.
A-level fighters at 147 would be Keith Thurman. Agreed?
He was. I don't know what the hell Keith Thurman doing now.
Okay. I agree with that. Sean Porter.
Mm-hmm.
Earl Spence.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Garcia.
Mm-hmm. Udanis Ugas. Don't leave him out.
Yeah,
Ugas. Gotta put Ugas in there because he beat Pacquiao, although Pacquiao was old. He still whipped his ass. Okay, Terrence Crawford.
I don't think it's Pacquiao old because Pacquiao old ass beat Keith Thurman. So
we put Keith Thurman in there. We
gotta
put a 78-year-old Pacquiao.
You got to put Ugas in there.
Ugas and Terrence Crawford. Of those names that I just named, only one of them I would consider elite would be Earl Spence. Terrence Crawford hasn't beaten any of those fighters.
Well, if you could say that, Keith Thurman beat Danny Garcia before Danny started losing. He beat Sean Porter.
I think Keith was an elite level fighter.
Okay, was an elite level. Was okay, right. Not now, but yeah. I think because of what he did, he was an elite level.
Like
fighter.
Triple G, to me, I thought was an elite level guy, but he after the Canelo fight, it's like,
well, was he?
Well, was it? I mean, because
to the Canelo fight,
you thought he lost. Exactly, you thought he lost to Daniel Jacobs.
Yeah, but it was a close loss. It wasn't like he got his ass beat.
Look,
like
ever since he fought Kell Brook, I think that's when the luster started coming off. When somebody from 47 come up there and put hands on you, but
well, somebody also who could fight.
Yeah.
Kell Brook could fight. So,
yeah.
Because Triple G beat David Lemieux. He beat the shit out of David Lemieux. He beat Curtis Stevens. He beat Martin Murray.
Which one was the hard puncher? Was it David Lemieux?
David Lemieux.
Yeah. I know he boxed David Lemieux.
Yeah, that's why I said that he showed me elite level skills.
He took him out like 6-7 rounds, didn't
he?
Yeah, but he
boxed him before he got him out of there.
He boxed him. He didn't go in like he normally go in and just tell people. No, he know that motherfucker hit hard, so he used that jab and he boxed and got him up.
I'll throw another name out there. Because some people think because of the Wilder fight, do you see Tyson Fury? And I know you see him as an elite fighter
all the time.
Are you looking at me?
All the time.
Well, I mean, he has Wilder and Klitschko on his resume, but
he got a lot of motherfuckers on his resume.
Other than
no, wait a minute. Other than them two,
SS. What's my name? USS Cunningham. Steve Cunningham. He got Derek Chisora on there twice. Don't matter. Holyfield was a cruiserweight and moved up and whooped ass. So it don't matter who you watch this. Usyk was a cruiserweight and moved up and beat the shit out of Anthony Joshua. So you got to handle business when you get in that fucking ring, regardless of whether it's a cruiserweight or heavyweight.
Okay.
Wait.
Wait a minute. No, I'm just going to look. My rebuttal to that is he has two names on his resume.
I mean,
and he beat one of them twice.
Yeah, and he beat one of them. He beat one of them twice, arguably 3 times. But I mean, think about what he did though in those 2 fights. I mean, above everything else, he beat the longest reigning, right? Twice actually, because Wilder was the longest reigning, wasn't he? Yeah. He
beat both longest reigning champions,
and like one of the hardest.
Everybody else.
Yeah, that's right.
Which makes him elite in my book. The skills. And regardless of whether it ain't that many niggas at heavyweight. So what do he, if he add Dillian White, that, like who else should he?
Yeah, he got to add, look, he got to, okay, Anthony Joshua, did he fight everybody Anthony Joshua for? Because Anthony Joshua done fought a whole lot of people.
Yeah, but Anthony Joshua ain't beat Wilder or Fury.
Yeah, but
so what A-level fighter did Anthony Joshua beat though?
I mean, would you claim Wilder was an elite level fighter or A-level fighter?
Wilder was an A-level fighter, yes.
Okay, A-level fighter. Okay.
Not skill-wise.
Not skill-wise.
But the one thing you got to realize when you can punch...
No, that's what got Wilder, I'm telling you, that's what got Wilder outboxed in the first fight. And, and with him, thinking that he actually knocked Fury out, in the second fight, just, with with the rumors, I'm not sure because I wasn't in the camp, so don't get me, but there's rumors out there that it was like, train. He ain't got to do that. He ain't got to jump rope. He ain't got to do this because he got that one hitter quitter.
All it takes is one.
Yeah, all it takes is one. Like he told you, Alan, don't blink, and you blinked and it was over. You know what I'm saying?
He has elite level power,
which makes him an elite level fighter because he could beat a lot of A-level guys.
He got Thor hammer type power.
He
got Thor hammer type power.
I mean, how many elite fighters is it really in the game today?
I get Tyson Fury,
but that's why I say Tyson Fury because he's beat the guys who we consider the best.
You know what? Because he's undefeated in the fucking knockdown drag out fight that he had with Wilder.
And not only that,
he got up twice. Look, in 2 fights, that motherfucker got up twice.
Yeah, he beat both of the guys who had supposed to be super. Well, one nigga name was sorry, not nigga, but one guy name was Dr. Steelhammer, and the other motherfucker name was the Bronze Bomber. So he beat 2 motherfuckers with shotguns, and he beat them different ways.
Alexander Usyk.
Alexander Usyk is good. I think he's an elite level guy.
He's an elite. Yeah, Usyk is elite because anytime you can unify division, and that's one thing that you had talked about before, and then move up to heavyweight and take on a champion with multiple belts.
Yeah,
20 and up.
Yeah,
19. We forget. We just talk about his cruiser. That motherfucker beat undefeated Michael Hunter.
But who beat him as an amateur though?
Who? Sean Porter?
Yep, yeah. Sean Porter whooped him as an amateur.
Yeah, but he
beat Daniel Jacobs as an amateur too.
Yeah,
Sean Porter whooping ass.
Yeah, he was. But Usyk wasn't Usyk back then. This is a different Usyk. Because the real amateur Usyk beat Joe Joyce. Then the motherfucker beat undefeated Michael Hunter. Then the motherfucker beat Tony Bellew. He beat Gassiev. And he beat was another undefeated fighter that he beat in that undisputed run, and then moved up and beat Anthony Joshua. So
okay, but the thing is, do we think that Caleb is an A-level fighter?
100%.
Randy, you think he's an A-level fighter?
Yeah.
With just so you're just going off of skill now?
I'm going off of skills, and I'm going off the eye test.
Okay.
You going off the eye test, but the eye test
can be skewed because of the way, like I said before, I say this all the time in the show, which and I'm gonna give Kenny Porter credit because I didn't think about it before he said it, but I knew it. You know what I'm saying? When he said, when a fighter is moving up, right, you're matched to look good against certain people.
Depends on who you are.
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
some fighters come in with being punching bags, so everybody not move that way.
Yeah, exactly. But like you're matched to look good, and then you're gradually pushed along. So when you're knocking everybody out, like say
Triple
Boots,
G.
yeah, because this show we're taping this on the night that Boots fights.
Yeah.
So Boots looking at him, but when he fought Lipinets, right, even though he looked spectacular, he was getting caught. That's somebody who's moving up, like you moving him up just a little bit, even though he's going to do his thing against him, but gradually. Then when you get in there with somebody with just as much skill, like I thought that Earl Spence was going to just like a dog Sean Porter. Sean Porter.
I watched that fight this morning actually.
Yeah, but I'm gonna also say this, and I know we talked about this a little bit off camera. Sometimes, like I know you say, Boots was getting touched up. Sometimes when you know you're going to beat somebody,
you don't train as hard.
Not even the training is hard, but you take more risk, which allow you to get touched up more than like Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson didn't have to sit in there on the inside and fight Jamel Herring and get hit, like you said, a couple times.
So basically, you say he had to beat Jamel up like that.
No, what I'm saying is he could have Joette Gonzalez, Jamel Herring, and just stayed on the outside and been the quicker, faster fighter and not let Jamel touch him. But because I don't think he had as much respect for Jamel as he would have for a Tank Davis, he took more risk in that fight.
Because he knew. Like they had.
But that's what I'm saying. Jerron Ennis knew he was going to lipping his ass. Yeah, so he probably took more risk in that fight than he would take in a fight against Earl Spence.
I agree with that too.
Right.
But I saw things that I've seen in all of his fights, right?
Shit, Terrence Crawford got touched up against the dude he about to fight tonight. Thomas Delorme.
Who?
Terrence Crawford.
Oh, I didn't even
got,
know that they fought.
Yeah, got
but
touched up.
I know I'm saying.
Who just fought Mean Machine?
That was Virgil Ortiz.
Virgil Ortiz, okay.
And he got
touched up.
Yeah, he got touched up a little bit. And Terrence Crawford said,
just like Crawford got touched up.
Yeah, Crawford said, I told you can punch. No, I'm just saying that I saw the. See, I would have I dismissed. I think that you take certain things when you know you're supposed to whoop a fighter, right? But I saw him doing the things that he does against everybody, and he just got caught doing those things because he loves to be flashy. So a lot of his punches, they look spectacular, but they wide, and then he coming like this, right over the top. It was just like it's muscle reaction. Even though he was getting tagged, he was throwing the jump, bam, catching him over the top, catching him with hooks. One time boots went down to this. Yeah, because he got caught, he got cranked. So, but I mean, I agree with you on that. Like, okay, well, I could take these risks. I mean, good fighter, a corner ain't gonna tell you to go out there and fight every fighter the same way. So yeah, he probably wanted to look spectacular.
Just like I said, in the Floyd fight, he took more risks against Robert Guerrero, and he got hit a lot more against Robert Guerrero. So we could have said, oh, he got hit a lot. So when he fight Canelo, he gonna get hit a lot. Nah, he sharpened that shit up for the Canelo fight and didn't get hit.
I know, because his father told me he wasn't gonna make it through 6 fights if he continued to fight that way. Because you remember, Roger is not like
offensive.
Yeah, offensive. He's basically like you said, offense but not defense. Right. His father was like, you ain't gonna make it doing that.
Right.
Just beating these guys like this 6 fights, you ain't gonna make it. And then like you said, luckily, like you said that he did tell him that because you going in there and doing that with Canelo, it wasn't gonna work out.
I don't agree with that because.
You think it would have worked out?
Man,
him going to war with Canelo?
I don't think that would have worked out, but I also don't think Floyd was stupid enough to go to war with Canelo regardless of whether his father said that shit or not. Because Roger had been in that man's corner since we could fucking remember.
And he was starting to get touch more.
Yeah, but even still, it obviously didn't have nothing to do with Roger. It had something to do with Floyd getting older.
Nah, because when his father came in, he showed up the defense.
Man, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I mean,
because he got touched up. He had it's not fact because he had his father and he got touched up against Maidana and that was with his dad. So like that's what I'm saying.
Just awkward.
But what I'm saying is
just awkward, man. That's all.
Fighters have more respect for certain fighters, so they're going to be sharper for certain fighters. That's just what it is.
You used that in argument with Tyson Fury against you saying, well, he was careful against Wilder and Klitschko, but Schultz and all these other C-level fighters he's fought, he do what he want to do.
And then you just have some fighters who fight down to competition, like Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant should have went out there and beat the shit out of fucking Mike Lee and Caleb Truax and Fagan Boots and all them motherfuckers. But
so I guess that goes to what he said. So A-level fighters fight down to competition.
Some do. Obviously Floyd did. He fought down to Robert Guerrero. He won. But if you look at those Caleb Plant fights, even though he fought down the competition, he still won damn near 10, 11 rounds.
Wait a minute, but those are C-level fighters.
Robert Guerrero ain't no motherfucking A-level fighter.
I'm talking about Caleb Plant.
I'm talking about Floyd and Robert Guerrero, and I'm talking about Caleb Plant and Andy Lee. We gave Robert Guerrero credit because he beat Andre Berto. That's where all of Robert Guerrero's credit came from.
That's true.
We gave Marcos Maidana credit because he beat Adrian Broner.
Keith Thurman beat him up after that too.
Yeah, we gave and Danny Garcia. We gave Maidana all of this credit because he beat Adrian Broner.
That was a lot of credit to give at that time.
Man, I don't think so because Adrian Broner looked like some shit against Paulie Malignaggi the fight before that.
True statement. That could have went the other way.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like
I'm saying it could. A
lot of A fighters fight down the competition. Shit, look at Hagler. Hagler versus you look at Hagler versus Duran, and he drug that shit out, and then look what he did to fucking Hearns.
No.
There wasn't no fight down to that.
No, it wasn't a fight.
What I'm saying,
was a good fighter, man.
I'm not saying he wasn't, but what I'm saying is you talking about a 135 pounder and a middleweight.
He wasn't 135. He came up from 135, but he didn't fight at 130. He was fighting at middleweight before then.
This is coming from the guy. What I'm telling you is he's a natural. He was a natural lightweight.
Yeah, okay, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Hearns was a big welterweight.
Yeah.
And he fucking threw caution to win and went out there and said, fuck it with Hearns.
Because he knew he couldn't outbox him.
He wasn't going to outbox Tommy Hearns. That was the only way he was going to win.
Tommy's fought in that fight, but I mean, I understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying, a lot of A fighters fight down.
But Brandon, it just goes.
Look at Tyson. He was an A level. He fought down the competition a lot of fucking times. Fucking James Buster Douglas. Fucking Kevin McBride. Oh, you thought I forgot about them? Danny Williams. You thought he's supposed to stretch these motherfuckers. Only for how old Tyson is.
Well, at that time, I wouldn't even say that Mike Tyson was elite or A. I mean, he was just fighting for checks at that point.
Yeah, so that, I mean, if you want to take it, if you want to take it,
he was an A-level fighter that just didn't give a fuck no more, which means that he fought down to the competition.
No, he wasn't there no more. It wasn't there.
Yeah, man.
Just like you saying, look, if you want to take it, Keith Thurman from down.
I'm saying Keith because we haven't seen Keith in 2 years. We don't know what Keith doing.
I know, and we watched Tyson, and we know that he wasn't an A-level fighter anymore. Yeah, I say that he wasn't an A-level fighter.
He wasn't even an A-level fighter when he came out of jail. You said Kevin McBride. Shit. He was collecting checks at that point. Yeah. The Bruce Seldon fight was given to him.
Yeah, it was given to him. He didn't land a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it.
And Holyfield, although Holyfield at one point in time was an elite fighter, neither one of them was elite at that time.
Yeah, Holyfield was elite at that time.
In that fight.
He was elite at that time. He came out crying and singing gospel and some more shit.
He was elite.
He was ready to go.
At that time. And you know he was elite because many times as you watch that damn tape over and over again.
Motherfucker came out the Kirk Franklin, boy. He was ready. What was it? The Mass Choir of Atlanta, Georgia.
When can you remember the last time two elite fighters at the peak of their careers have fought? When the last time has that happened? Because I thought about that the other day, and I damn near went all the way back to Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns.
No, it ain't that far back. Because you got Oscar De La Hoya got a lot of Trinidad.
De La Hoya, Trinidad.
Look,
but that wasn't a good fight.
De La Hoya, Ike Cortez.
That was a better fight.
Yeah.
But who considered Ike Cortez?
I'll give you somebody else. David Tua and what's my man name? Abuchi. Abuchi, yeah.
Look, Pernell Whitaker. Chavez on Mildred Taylor.
Yeah. But that's far back. Yeah, we talking about like how far back do you have to go? That's further back than Tua versus Sean Porter. Well,
Sean Porter, Earl Spence. Okay.
Yeah.
But you said you don't consider
Sean.
No, he's an A-level fighter.
Sean Porter, Keith Thurman at the time.
Sean Porter, Keith Thurman,
Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman.
Yep.
But do y'all consider Danny Garcia?
He was at that time.
He was at that time.
He was at that time.
Yeah.
I just think 47 is too much weight for Danny, and he
going up to 54 now.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like Tank Davis. I feel like even though Tank Davis gonna get to 47, I think that's gonna be his worst weight.
Yeah. You know what I think the best move Danny Garcia could make?
Tank Davis?
No. Boots Ennis.
Fuck no. Too fast. Feet too fast.
They both from Philly.
I love Danny. I don't want to see Danny get his ass beat like that.
Yeah, but if he wins that fight,
he ain't going to win that fight. He ain't going to win that fight.
Look. I'm thinking about them limited hooks, and Danny Garcia no look.
But yeah,
he do.
Any punch. But yeah, no. I really think that Boots will come out. Look, like I said, you saw how Earl did him. Boots will come out and use his jab, and Boots fast as hell.
Boots is more twitchier than Earl. He's more.
He is. Yep.
He's too athletic. Danny, it'll be like looking like Krusty Krab off a goddamn SpongeBob. He lost in the whirlwind. He won't.
And Boots is. Look, you talking about far as like, look, Terrence Crawford and Boots switch hitters, man. Either way.
That's the fight I want to see. Of course, I'm not skipping Earl. I want to see Bud and Earl too.
Well, first I want to see what Earl gonna do because they just screwed over Ugas.
Yeah,
they screwed him over. I don't like that. I can't stand they screwed him over
because he's trying to fight Earl Spence to unify,
and they put him in some basically tournament. Yeah.
And like you say that, and this is why I get mad because people say, "Well, he could have did." Nah, you can't. If a fucking sanctioning body says something, you pretty much gotta listen to that shit. That's why I think these fighters should say, "Fuck them belts."
That's true, but see, look, the thing is with Ugas, like you said, they know they got Ugas over a barrel because the reason why I want to fight you is because you got that belt. See, you throw away that belt, nobody really want to take a chance with Ugas.
That's true, but I'm saying these boxers need to come together and say,
true.
fuck this. I ain't
That's
saying
true.
one person. Of course, one person don't change nothing.
Yeah.
But if all of these boxers say, man, fuck these sanctioning bodies,
Yep.
and they
Well,
just
that's basically what
That's
Canelo
true.
has done.
he has, and that's why he
And
can
Floyd
give
too.
everybody.
Floyd,
Yeah.
Floyd said the same, yeah.
He can give them their ass to kiss, and they gonna do everything in their power to make.
Exactly.
I bet you, I can bet you my bottom dollar. Oh well, he the WBC champion, so it would make sense. But there's been fights when Canelo ain't been a WBC champion, and the WBC be trying to put their name on shit, trying to make belts, special belts and shit for him, because he be like, fuck y'all.
And Andre Ward let it out of the bag too. He said that just so y'all know that every boxer doesn't pay the same amount of sanctioning fees.
Mm-hmm.
When you big like Canelo,
Yeah.
Canelo negotiate that. No,
But
I'm not giving you that.
the thing is, he can afford to do that,
Yeah,
because
exactly, yeah.
even if it's 1%,
Yeah.
his 1% is gonna be more than somebody
Exactly.
5%.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he can afford to do that.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, they looking at the amount.
Mhm.
Fuck the percentage.
Yeah.
They looking at the amount. Because you can give me 20% and it can only be $30,000.
That's true.
He can give me 1% and it could be $100,000. You know what I'm saying? So that they just need
Yeah,
to
but
say
they do.
fuck it.
They do, because like I said, with that shit right there, man. They said he had already basically had a deal like with Earl to fight Earl, and they do that shit, man. Just
But the WBC, I mean the WBA did the same thing with Chris Colbert and Gary Russell. I heard they were trying to get a fight together, and then the WBA came with the tournament shit for. I think it's.
who would you have had on that fight, Brandon?
Come on now, you know I'm going with the home team. I don't give a fuck who Gary Russell fight. He can fight, unless if he fight Canelo, I have to go against him. but Gary Russell, I'm going with him regardless of who he fight. If he fight Terrence
Who would you
Crawford,
take,
I'm taking Gary Russell.
Gary Russell and who?
Chris Colbert.
Chris Colbert.
I'm gonna take Gary Russell, but when the last he fought?
I don't give a fuck if he ain't fought in 3 years. That motherfucker in the gym.
He's staying.
He in the gym.
Shout out to my man, Aaron's son, Sweet Tay, Tay. When you gonna fight again?
He fight too. Shit, you need to get him to come on the show.
He need to. But Gary Russell all day. And
we from the city.
And we from the city, so
We're from the city, so it can be biased, and I don't even care at this point.
Yep.
And the other time, I'll be like, fuck it. But when it come to Gary Russell and Jared Hurd, them, I don't give a fuck who they fight. Unless it's Canelo. But,
There's another division that was 2 years ago with nothing better than 154, and it's just crazy how all those guys within 2 years.
But I'm trying to think about what you said, man. That question, I'm trying to think like two
Elite fighters?
Yeah, two elite at the very top of their game. Who?
I give you two.
Who?
Charlo versus J-Rock.
Okay.
I'll give you another two.
Both of them, when they up and coming in.
Elite.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say elite.
Oh, you're saying like elite, not
Elite.
the best guys fighting the best, but
Yeah.
the best guys fighting the best.
guy.
Okay.
So you know what?
I got one. Canelo Triple G.
Yep.
Bing.
Yep. That's
Bing. And I got two. Canelo Triple G 1 and 2.
That's it. That is one, because they were both like.
And
at the
I'll
top
give you
of their
another
game.
one.
Yeah.
And I'll give you another one. Don't make me start thinking, because y'all know I go in this memory bank.
I know
and
that's
pull
what
some shit out.
I said. That's what, go.
Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev.
That's another one.
Stop playing with me.
Yeah.
Before I start pulling them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Sergey was elite at the time.
He was.
And niggas was ducking him.
Yeah.
And Ward said, you know what? If Triple G don't want to come up here, I'll go up and fight
Yeah,
him.
he went out. No, well.
And somebody,
he was
who was it that was on this? Some some broadcaster was like talking about how they down on like Andre Ward and started talking about, well, he didn't fight Triple G. He wanted to fight Triple G. Triple G ain't want to fight him.
That's true. And let me say something else. I'm glad you
Yeah.
brought that shit up. Because, and it's crazy because we talked about commentators and shit.
Yeah.
Andre Ward and Lennox Lewis need to commentate every fight. I don't give a fuck what network is
I
on.
agree.
Because that's a cross promotion though. Cause
But it's like
But
that was the best
commentating.
commentating
Yep.
from everybody.
Yep.
Because then you had Sean Porter and Max Kellerman on the other side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But Andre Ward, the way, not only were they commentating what was going on in the fight, but for the average boxing fan, or I should say the average casual fan, most times they don't understand what's actually taking place.
Right.
Andre Ward and Lennox Lewis was teaching. They was fucking teaching class.
Yeah.
And Andre Ward would say something, and then Lennox Lewis would rebuttal. Well, what would you do in that situation? And vice versa. And they was hitting off of each other, and it was just that right there. I'm glad because I watched that fight. Who did I watch that fight with? I watched that fight with somebody else, so I think I had to listen to the commentary. But normally I turn the shit off. But yeah, man, that was the best. That was the best commentating that I've heard from because Sean Porter normally does a good job. I think. Sean does.
He
a
does.
Good job.
Sean does a good job.
I even thought Paulie did a good job. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought Paulie was good.
The favoritism.
I don't think it was favoritism. Like, and what people have to realize is, I'm a Wilder fan, but if Wilder does something wrong, it's okay to say that he's doing something wrong.
I agree with
And
that.
I feel, and I don't like that. Constructive criticism. Guess what? Maybe if he'd have took that constructive criticism that Paulie was saying in those Luis Ortiz fights and took it as constructive criticism, maybe he wouldn't have lost to Fury. Just because somebody is not saying something that's in your credit doesn't mean that they hate him
on his being on his fights.
Yeah, I don't like
he
that.
He did ask to check him off the when he was working for Showtime.
I don't know how true that is, if Wilder got him kicked off or not. But I'm just saying, like, just because somebody is pointing out something that you're doing, I'm one of the biggest Wilder fans ever.
Prime example. What did Shakur go over to tell Timothy Bradley? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have to be able to take constructive criticism.
Which you, like you said, you gave me that criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I hate when a motherfucker say, "Oh, you ain't never did this before, so you don't know." That's not true. A lot of motherfucking boxing trainers ain't never been in the ring before, and they fucking good trainers.
Exactly.
Fucking Popovich, I don't know if him playing no high level basketball. He's a fucking great coach. Like, some people are minds and some people are athletes.
That's why I didn't play into the whole Tyson Fury when he said about Malik, well, I mean, you couldn't believe I'm like this, but, hey, it doesn't, a lot of great like Emmanuel Stewart, I think he used to box, but he wasn't a great boxer. You don't look up Emmanuel Stewart like, he was some great champion or nothing. No.
You ain't going to find no Floyd Mayweather's training. Show me one.
That's
you ain't going to find Michael Jordan coaching.
Yeah. Usually the greats aren't that good at...
Right. The greats are good at doing. A lot of times they're not good at teaching because they expect from you what they could do.
Yep.
Yeah.
So but I just thought Andre Ward and Lennox Lewis did an excellent job, and that stuck with me. Like even to now, it's shit. How's that fight been? It's been over a month, right?
Yeah.
And it's still on my mind. Like, damn, I hope we can get Crawford. Well, shit, if Crawford is with Top Rank, but I hope we can get them two guys on that panel again because
what fight was that it wasn't because Andre Ward wasn't with him. Lennox Lewis and was it Joe Goosen?
Yeah, Joe Goosen's good too.
Yeah, but that
but it ain't.
There was one fight that they commentated that was it the Charlo fight? I think it was the Charlo Harrison fight. I mean, where they just
everything Charlo did, and I don't like that. Yeah. Like, my thing is call the action. Like I said, I'm not saying that if you say something about Charlo, you're wrong, or if you say something about Harrison, you're wrong. But call the action as it is. Like when with Pacquiao and Ugas. Oh, look at Manny, he's super fast. Yeah, but he's missing every punch.
Yep.
It took Sean Porter was saying, like, I don't know what fight y'all watching, but it took a tweet from Damian Lillard to say, oh, they trying to give Pacquiao this fight because Ugas is doing his thing. Mm-hmm. For them to actually say, oh, we're being biased. Yes, y'all motherfuckers being biased. Sean been telling y'all being biased the whole night.
Yeah, well, you proved that point when, like I said, what fight was that we all watched? And we turned to...
Mayweather versus Castillo.
Mayweather Castillo, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, HBO wanted Mayweather to lose that fight bad.
Same thing with Triple G. Canelo won. They was on Triple G.
They was on Triple G.
Just like you're saying, there's no way that it was 10 rounds to 2 for Canelo. And this is what irritates me. Because Canelo's the name, that's what people are going to harbor on. A judge scored it 10 rounds to 2 for Canelo. How? HBO had it 10 rounds to 2 for Triple G. How?
Yeah. Well, I remember that second fight. I'm watching it and I'm listening to the commentator. I'm like, what the fuck fight are they watching?
It took Roy Jones to say Yeah, Triple G is landing jabs, but he's losing the narrative of the fight.
Yeah.
In that second fight, yeah.
Because of what you came out and said, people are expecting you, and that's all fighting is. It's about perspective. If I like boxers, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to lean towards peer boxer. If you like come forward fighters or people who can punch, 9 times out of 10, that's the action you're watching.
Yeah.
So you can't sit up there and necessarily say, oh, you're wrong, or no, that's what the fuck I saw.
Actually, Sean Porter did win a judge on that in that fight. Other thing I said though is that had they counted those goddamn low blows that Earl Spence was throwing, because he must have hit him with like 7 or 8 of them.
Well, Earl told him that going into the fight. You try to get dirty with me if you want to. I'm gonna show you better.
That decision might have been different.
Well, yeah.
Had they taken any points for it?
Yeah,
That's true.
but like I said, man, I just like fights. And another thing I want to explain is just because a fight is a unanimous decision doesn't mean that it's a blowout. I don't think people understand that. You can lose 7 rounds on my card. You can lose 7-5 on Tony's card. You can lose 7-5 on Alan's card.
Yep.
That's still a close fight.
Yep.
But it's a unanimous decision because we all were in favor of one fighter.
Exactly.
See, some people hear unanimous decision and think, oh, it was a blowout. It's a robbery. No, the fuck it's not.
No, this ain't. We ain't talking about Floyd. We ain't talking about Roy, who wins like every round.
Yeah, Shakur.
Yeah,
Shakur ain't lost a round in
Shakur,
like
yeah.
50 rounds, but
You're crazy, man. Shakur lost round
to who?
3.
No, he didn't.
4.
So he
Something
did
one
that.
round.
No,
On the card?
Yep.
Show it on the card. Where's that on the judges' scorecards? Because they're the only cards that matter. Well, I say
He won every round on every judge's scorecard?
He hasn't lost a round in about 50 rounds.
That last fight, he lost a round.
He
man.
did.
He lost
I know.
a round.
No, he didn't.
He did.
No, he didn't. And what last fight? Jamil?
Yeah, he lost.
No way.
He did
Yes, he
lose
did.
one
No
round.
way.
Matter of fact, I said it in the text and you actually laughed about it.
Listen,
I said you would say after he just lost.
Listen what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
We can say he lost around all we want.
That's what all I'm saying.
If he didn't lose that shit on the judges' scorecard, it don't fucking matter.
Did he lose any rounds on the judges'
They
scorecard?
say he hasn't lost a round in 50-something rounds.
Oh, that's what they said?
That's what they said.
But did they go to record the judges? Because they
Yes.
say that.
Because it doesn't matter what we say.
Okay.
We can say Sean Porter lost to
They
Bulldog.
said Roy Jones ain't lose a round in 10 years.
Is it on the scorecard?
Yeah, it was on the scorecard.
Or did he ain't lose around in 10 years then? Shit. There ain't nothing to argue. Like, what
When
the
he was
fuck?
at the top, they said that man ain't lose around in 10 years.
Oh, well, shit. If that's the case, I've heard them say he's went around without being touched.
Yeah, that's
But I don't know about the 10 years
They
they ain't
said-
lose around shit.
That's what they said. That man.
Well, if he did, he did. But that motherfucker's an all-time great. So shit. This just
So
show
who
you.
do you think? Okay, because he said that. I want to know. Put it in the comments. Who y'all think is an A-level fighter that Canelo fight? Do y'all think Charlo's an A-level fighter? Do y'all think David Benavidez is an A-level fighter? Who do y'all think is an A-level fighter? Since
And that's
you don't
my-
think Caleb Plant.
And that's my thing.
I think
because
he just. They might have been going with the thing that they probably a Canelo fan because they was like, but yet he up there talking all that trash. So
Right.
they might have been going from a
Which I
Canelo
like
fan
him talking
standpoint.
trash.
Which I like
he
that.
a fucking fighter. He
That's
ain't
right.
supposed to
Yeah.
kiss Canelo ass.
Yeah, but you said he poked the bear, so you thought
Yeah, he
Canelo
did.
get beat.
But what I'm saying is,
Oh.
this is what I'm saying. I'm saying he didn't have to.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he can't.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
It's motherfuckers that get up there and know Tyson Fury looked at Wilder and said, "Bitch ass nigga, I'm about to beat your ass." Right? Fucking Antonio Tarver asked Roy, "What's gonna be your excuse tonight?"
Roy, yep. What's your excuse tonight, Roy?
Right?
Is that the fight he knocked him out in the second?
Yeah. What's my man? Mayorga smacked what's her name, white butt and got his ass whooped. See what I'm saying?
How many times though? Shit, because there was a train running on him one time. De La Hoya whooped his ass. Shane whooped his ass.
Shane Mosley.
Shane Mosley,
wow.
yeah.
Shane beat shit.
Somebody else beat his ass too. Surprisingly though, he beat Vernon Force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Twice.
figure that shit out.
Yeah, twice. Didn't he?
Some
Yeah,
people
even
just
that rematch.
have people's number. You
No.
never know. Caleb might get up here and beat Canelo, and he just might have his number. You never know. We all are only giving an opinion based on
what we've seen.
Analytics,
Exactly,
the information that we have.
Exactly.
Like I can look at the Lakers and look at the Wizards and say, oh, the Lakers are going to win. That don't necessarily mean that some shit ain't going to go wrong and the Wizards win. So, I mean, yeah, we got on here to say we wrong, but at the end of the day, all of this shit is subjective. You know, like I said, just like the judges scoring.
Yeah.
Well, I can give you a fact.
Come on.
I can give you one fact.
What's the fact?
Floyd Mayweather.
Batman boxing talk. Batman boxing talk.
Never
we
beat
out.
Yeah.
Man, y'all can.
I second that.
Second that. He negative second that. That shit
I
below
second
zero.
That shit. No, that's second.
Never.
That shit. I definitely
Shit
second
is
that.
below
Yeah.
zero.